you almost have like too many young players. You've got loads of like the young players that you're hoping are going to come and break out and stuff. Is is the Pelicans really?
Yeah, he's just sharing the minutes and getting the right rotations.
Yeah, because they've got Ingram, Ball, and Hart in the Anthony Davis trade, who you would have thought all of those guys really were. I mean, they were the sort of guys when the draft. I mean, Ingram and Ball particularly, and Hart has been very solid. Of like guys that were meant to be, you know, to have a lot of minutes,
Yeah,
like be like starters or be like your sixth man or something probably. Um, and obviously that combined with Zion,
yeah,
and then they still have Drew Holiday, who's going to
and
be.
JJ Redick and
Yeah,
Derek
it's
Favors.
just. Yeah, they're just almost. I mean, the guards particularly, to be honest.
Well, it's not to mention that they've also got Jackson Hayes and Nikhil Alexander Walker, who was a first round pick as well.
Yeah,
Just is almost too young a roster where you feel
yeah.
like someone's development's going to be hampered.
Well, yeah, more than someone really.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
might be.
there's only really room for like enough minutes for like two of them to really get enough playing time. I would have thought.
Well, as much as Zion's injury sucks, and I wanted to see him at the start of the season, it might actually be a bit of a blessing in disguise that they can
Yeah,
figure stuff out with the other guys. They can
yeah,
build a bit of a pecking order.
yeah. Give other guys opportunities and see
Yeah, and
who
then
are going to be the guys that are you know
who's
getting
going to be
minutes
Zion's
when
number
when
two,
Zion's
basically?
back.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think they'll. I think they could do well, but they. I mean, you like your thing with the Hawks, although I think with the Hawks is I'd have the Hawks floor relatively high just because of I think Trey Young is almost guaranteed to be really good, and just he's the sort of player that can even if he has like relative like average players around him, he just does a bit of everything, so he can carry the team.
yeah.
But yeah, like there's obviously massive uncertainty about like most of their roster. I mean, I suppose you'd say they're consistent. They've got Reddick and
Favors and Holiday are there.
yeah,
Their
Holiday.
core.
But yeah, like I suppose that gives them a bit of a flaw, doesn't it? That those guys are going to be solid and good. But I reckon there's also a good chance. I mean, I know like this Zion injury. Like, what if he gets and like re-aggravates it or something later in the year as well? Stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
Zion ends up missing like half his first year, and then Lonzo Ball and Ingram, it turns out, are not any better than
they're
they
just
were.
who they were on the Lakers.
Yeah, and it's like okay, it's a solid, experienced team, but they're not going to be anywhere near the playoffs in the West in that case.
I'd go as far to say that with Zion missing as much as he is, it's very unlikely they get the playoffs in the West now.
How much is he missing again?
It's 6 to 8 weeks, I think.
Yeah, that's quite a bit, but I mean, it
Because
depends on their
it's so
schedule, to
tight.
be honest, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's so tight there. I mean, they kind of needed almost a best case scenario, I thought, anyway.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like they've got a relatively tough schedule.
Oh yeah, their start isn't great, is it? Raptors, Mavericks, Rockets, Warriors, Nuggets, Thunder, Nets, Raptors.
Yeah,
That's before the
I mean, I
9th of
would have I would
November.
have said anyway, actually, looking at that start, that even if they did have Zion, um,
Just
they were
settling
not going
in
to have a
would be.
good record at that point. Yeah, like a whole team of young and experienced players. Like with Trey Young, really, I wouldn't expect them to be that good in at the early part of the season, and really you're
Yeah,
hoping that they make it up later on. That's the thing, is you're expecting them to be
that's the
like really good down the stretch.
that's part of my problem with them though, was the make it up later on in the West isn't easy. Is you've got to
Yeah,
be like making it up later on might mean beating like some seriously
Although
good teams.
their March doesn't look that bad, to be honest. Just looking at it, they've
Yeah,
got Timberwolves, Mavericks. Yeah, they're okay teams. Heat, Timberwolves again, Kings, Utah Jazz.
that's
They're good. The Clippers.
that's going to
That's
be big. That's really huge, isn't it?
yeah,
You think they've got Mavericks and Kings? They're the guys who are going to be fighting for that
yeah,
last spot.
and the Spurs maybe as well. They've got the Spurs twice
Yeah,
in April.
yeah. Do you think we should move on to teams that are going to be
Actually, good.
slightly? Yeah,
So
definitely good.
should we go back? Should we go back to that thing we're talking about? That group, that grouping. I mean, it's quite a sort of vague thing. Teams that realistically have a good chance of making the NBA Finals. Let's say,
Okay.
or winning the whole thing. But I'd say if you make the NBA Finals, you've got a decent enough chance of winning the whole thing. To be honest, so
Yeah.
so I mean, I'd say the Clippers, Lakers, Sixers, Bucks. I think we agree are like in that group.
Yeah.
Although I don't think the Bucks are going to be as good as last year.
No, neither do I. But I think because of the East, I think they're good. Giannis is so good.
Yeah. What about the Nets now, though? I mean, what about the Nets, basically?
Well, but their main difference to last season is they've got Irving over Russell.
Yeah.
Russell was an all-star. It is obviously an upgrade,
Yeah.
but I can't see them beating a healthy. We've got to do this on health,
They've
of
got
course.
they've got a lot of depth, haven't they?
Yeah, but I can't see them beating the Sixers or the Bucks
Hmm.
in a playoff series. I think the one team in the East that I currently have closest actually to the big two is the Raptors.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree too much there.
I think there's a good chance they're
Even
the
though
third
they've
best
lost.
team in the Eastern Conference.
Do a bit of a Washington Nationals.
Yeah. Well, and Pascal Siakam was so good last year.
Yeah.
There,
This
there's
is the thing, is that he's basically the question, isn't he? I mean, not if
Well,
he's good.
and OG Anunoby. OG
Yeah.
Anunoby was the leader of their new era at the start of last year, and then hit some tragic personal stuff and injury meant his season sort of was a bit of a write-off. But we
Yeah.
saw Van Vliet and Siakam really light up playoff games, and they've got Anunoby. And they just managed to win the title. Gasol, Ibaka, and Lowry, if they all stay there, they're not rubbish and old. They're just old and not quite as
Yeah.
good as they were.
Yeah, they are still very, very good players. Basically the thing is that Siakam is now going to be expected to be the leading guy, isn't he? The ball dominant.
Yeah.
And it's basically the question is, can he step up from last year, and how much worse than Kawhi Leonard is he going to be? I think
Yeah.
it really isn't it. Is if he can minimise that gap as much as possible.
Can he get into the 20s in points per game?
Yeah,
I think he can. I think he's definitely good enough to do that. He's got the all-round game to be a bit of a nightmare. It's not going to be enough to beat the Bucks or Sixers in a series. But the thing with them as well, and it is difficult because you don't want to get into these silly hypotheticals, but I'm going to do it anyway, is Masai Ujiri may well make a move if they're third in the East.
yeah,
He could add like handy pieces around them. So I wouldn't discount them at all. I think they're going to be there sort of lurking for a slip up from one of the other two. I think there's a good chance they're a better team than the Celtics, for instance.
Would you have them finishing above the Nets then this year?
Yeah, I think I would right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I really can't split those two, to be honest.
I don't know what the Nets are going to be like,
Yeah,
really, because Kyrie
yeah.
Irving's.
It's basically the thing is, can Kyrie Irving actually work with any other people?
Yeah.
That's the question, isn't it?
Is he completely intolerable, basically?
Yeah,
Is Karis LeVert going to miss a shot when Kyrie wanted the ball and it's going to ruin the relationship forever?
Can he play on a team without making all of his teammates worse?
Yeah, or
Basically,
having LeBron James in his team. Like he, that's the one of the great uncertainties. We were talking about stuff, just questions going into the NBA season. There's so many things that we don't know, and some we will find out in the next month. Some we'll find out in about 12 months' time. Irving on that team is one of them because that
yeah,
Nets team has been built in a certain way. They've fought back from a trade that just ruined the franchise, and they've come back as this sort of plucky playoff team, and now they're not that at all. They've got two superstars, one sat out watching, and one in the team who's been known to be slightly difficult to get along with. How does that impact the? I don't want to say chemistry because it's not just that. It's everything around the franchise. I think.
yeah. But can he actually? Because the thing is, he's going to be expected to be the leader and stuff as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Although I guess even though Kevin Durant is not going to be playing, I assume he's going to be around the team and stuff a lot. And I guess he is not necessarily, the sole like main guy, is he?
No.
It's maybe going to be a bit more similar to the LeBron thing, the LeBron situation. And it's from stuff he said last year. It basically sounds like he almost regrets leaving leaving LeBron.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be different. It's different and more successful than the Celtics. I mean, not necessarily they're going to be better than the Celtics were last year, because I'd say the expectations were higher for the Celtics last year than they are for the Nets this year. But they're gonna they're gonna be in the top four in the East. I'd say I'd have them in the top four probably, maybe. But yeah, home court, first round and stuff. Um, what I want to move on to now, though, actually, is a potential team to be in that group we're talking about. Teams that like basically contenders, isn't it? That's what we're saying. Teams that have a
Serious
realistic
title contenders.
chance of actually doing it.
Yeah.
Um, I say Denver Nuggets. I feel like Denver Nuggets are always like the forgotten team.
Well, I was going to mention the Nuggets. I'd say so in the West, if we go with the four of the Los Angeles teams, Philly and Milwaukee, I'd say there's Denver, Utah, and Houston are the ones that are considered on the borderline,
Yeah,
and Denver are the one that seem to get forgotten.
yeah. Because I mean they were incredibly good last year, and their team is still very young. Like, Jamal
And
Murray is getting better. Like, is Jamal Murray like the same age as like Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram?
isn't he? No, I think he's the draft class before that. Yeah, he
Okay,
is.
but
He's the Ben Simmons draft class.
yeah, but
Same
he
age as
he
Ben Simmons
he
and,
made
and Pascal
actually made quite a
Siakam.
big step up last. And the other thing they've done the last two drafts. I mean, I don't actually know like how much they're going to be playing, but basically they've not made big like free agent signings and stuff. But what they've done is the most recent draft they drafted Bol Bol in the second round, who before had injury problems, but before that was like would have gone like right at the top, like one
Yeah.
of the most highest rated players. And then the draft before, so they got Michael Porter Jr.
Well, Porter has been falling in the Rookie of the Year odds because he's got the potential to do a Simmons Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
Whether
but
he'll get enough minutes to do that is unknown. That's the
yeah,
thing with
but
him.
that's the thing is that they didn't have
There's
those, like
upside.
they don't even need those guys there, do they? Like they were a very very good team last year, and the rest of their team is still young and improving. But basically, it's like they could even potentially add those guys that really, I mean, if they can get over their injury problems, they are like top five draft talents, aren't they?
Yeah, and the the
I mean, Michael
criticism
Porter
of
Jr.
them
was
is
going to be the consensus number one, wasn't he? Like before his injury.
Yeah, they're very good pick.